Welcome back to the Swing Low Podcast Show. It is yours truly, man, Duroc CRIP. What's happening with all my people out there in the wonderful world today? I hope everybody is living in their blessings and hopefully you being a blessing to somebody that need it, somebody that deserve it. You know what I'm saying? I can't express that enough. You know what I'm saying? But look, as y'all can see, I don't have my glasses on. I'm gonna see how long I can go without, having my glasses on. You know what I'm saying? Which I doubt it'd be very long at all because I can't see absolutely nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's small. And being that I'm recording this off of my phone, you know what I'm saying, and not a regular camera, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't see too much of the stuff. I like have to really like laser focus in on it. But anyway, we're gonna see how long that lasts. But look, man, before I start, let me say this. Thanks to all my new subscribers. I appreciate y'all choosing the Swang Low Podcast Show, to come spend some time with, man. We bring stories here. We come and we try to figure certain things out. You know what I'm saying? There's some stuff that I like to share with y'all to make y'all aware of certain situations in time. You know what I mean? Because things tend to repeat themselves, and I would hate for anybody to fall up under the wrong impression of a person that they see on the internet, that may be completely fraudulent, because you got those type out there. You feel me? So you got to be careful on who you fall up under and what you choose to take in because a lot of these dudes be having very fraudulent characters. You know what I'm saying? The history and all that be all bad. You know what I mean? So what we bring here at this round table is truth and honesty. You know what I'm saying? And teaching moments. It ain't nothing like those teaching moments because you never know, man. If it ain't you, it might be somebody that you know that may fall victim. You know what I'm saying? To one of the stories it might be relative to one of the stories that we bring to this round table. You never know. You know what I'm saying? So, we try to make these teaching, learning moments for those that may not be aware of certain situations and things that go on. You know what I mean? So I take my experiences and I bring them to this round table, share it with y'all. You know what I'm saying? We kick it around and we try to figure this thing out. You feel me? But look, this is two stories wrapped into one. You know what I'm saying? Because both stories involve myself, and a couple of my young homies who happen to be brothers. You know what I'm saying? Those brothers is Baby Nut and Tiny Nut. You know what I'm saying? These are my little bros right here. You know what I'm saying? And I do believe like these stories that I'm about to tell y'all was probably some of their first prison experience, involving some type of funk or drama. I'm talking about prison. You know what I mean? Because this was both of their first terms. You know what I'm saying? In High Desert State Prison, I believe it was their first official prison outside of the reception center. That they both had been to High Desert State Prison, right? When I got to High Desert State Prison in 2007, um, my young homie Baby Nut was there, right? He was already there, right? Tiny Nut hadn't got there yet. I believe he was probably still in the county jail at that time. But anyway, I get there 2007. You know what I'm saying? And you know, everything was everything, right? So bam, getting to this first guy, Baby Tez from West Covina neighborhood. Now, I brought his name up um in a story that I did. I don't know if it was the last show that I did or the show before that, but I did bring his name up because he was involved in another incident that involved myself. You know what I'm saying? And this guy, Baby Tez, man, hold on, let me throw my glasses on because I got to be able to see y'all while I'm talking, telling y'all this story. So hold on one second, y'all. I knew it wouldn't be long. I knew it wouldn't be long, but look. So this guy, Baby Tez, man, he had a very Baby Tez was from West Covina neighborhood. Okay, he had a very bad history. You know what I'm saying? His history in prison wasn't too good. And at this time, he was a young dude. You know what I mean? I believe he was probably at this time 2021, right? This dude, he was an interesting character. You know what I'm saying? Because he was one of those guys that thought he was slicker than slick. You know what I'm saying? He was one of the guys that always stayed in some shit. He didn't stay on the right side of things for too long. He was always in some shit. Always. Right? And 9 times out of 10, every time he involved himself in some bullshit, I found out about it if I wasn't in I'm gonna say involved to the point where I had to address him about it, right? So anyway, fast forwarding to High Desert State Prison. This was B Yard, right? Before they turned B Yard into SMY, right? This was a general population yard. Okay, 270. So bam, I get there. Baby Tez is there. Baby Tez is there along with a couple of other West Covina neighborhoods. It was Rock from West Covina neighborhood and Lil Hood from West Covina neighborhood, right? Both of those guys, by the way, who ended up going SNY further on down the line after that, right? But they was there, okay? And then it was me, myself, uh, my homie Baby Nut, you know, it was a couple of more people, T Loke from Pomona West Side Mafia, and I believe it was one more homie there, man, from Mafia, right? I can't remember his name, but anyway, those are the people that's from the San Gabriel Valley, from where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? That's the San Gabriel Valley core, right? Now, when I get there, everybody is asking me like, "What's going on with Baby Tez? He keep on talking about what happened with y'all in the other prison." So, and this is his homies from his hood asking me this, right? Now I've been knowing Rock for years, so you know we was cool. You know what I'm saying? So he was one of the persons that came and asked me. So I told him, really, he had the influence on the West Covinas that was there on that yard, the West Covina neighborhoods. So I tell him, I'm like, look, man, yeah, this incident took place with him and this and that and blah blah blah. You know, but I, you know, let him know like we in a new prison now. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm not tripping on what happened in the other prison. The slate is clean. But the slate is only clean because we had already did what we did to Baby Tez in Calipatria State Prison. You know what I'm saying? So now we in a whole completely different prison, which was High Desert. I'm like, you know what? The slate is clean. I said, but he is y'all responsibility, being that that's your homeboy. And I'm letting y'all know he is gonna stay in some shit. His name is gonna constantly pop up in something. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's gonna be y'all responsibility, right? So they was like, all right, we was just trying to figure out why he was scrambling around, you know what I'm saying? Uh, saying that this and that happened, you know what I mean? So I'm like, yeah, okay. So bam, now, you know, they tripping because every time he came around, every time he came into our building, he would shoot straight to my cell. He would not go greet his own homeboys from his hood. He wouldn't greet none of my homies. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my homie BD, Big BD was there. Big BD from Duroc. Bam. So we, you know, they'll be out and about. He will shoot past them. Don't say nothing to him, straight to me. Right. And this happened all the time. So they start noticing the shit and the homies start tripping. Like, nigga, he ain't the only one that's over here. Nigga, when you come over here, nigga, you better greet everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like they stayed on his head about that shit. And his homies got on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, you run straight up in here and go straight to CRIP. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, you better come report in to your homies, nigga. Right? So bam. They trying to figure out why he doing this. But what he was doing was trying to stay on my good side. You know what I'm saying? Because he knew we, you know, what happened in Calipatria, you know, Like he got dog walked. You know what I'm saying? I got him one time, like I said. You know what I'm saying? I punched him out and choked him out and all that, right? After he did what he did to the homie Stutterbox. So then Stutterbox beat him up every day. You know, Stutterbox would go in that nigga cell, make him a meal with baby Tez as food, and then beat him up. You know what I'm saying? So he trying to stay on my good side, and they trying to figure out why. So anyway, let's fast forward. An incident take place on the yard. Well, I'm gonna say in our building that involved some keyways, and I believe it was the Nortes. It was something that happened, or the White Boys. Something happened where it was some tension, right? But the situation ended up getting taken care of, right? So it shouldn't have been any further debates, conversations, anything about this. Well, baby Tez, who's in a whole completely different building, had something else in his head, which he ended up writing down in a kite, a note we call a kite in prison, right? He wrote this kite and gave it to a blood that was in his building. I don't know if he intended for that kite to get out or not. I don't know, but it did. Now, what he said in that kite was all the Crips that was in my building, including myself, and the Bloods that was in my building was busters because um, whatever that situation that had arose, you know what I'm saying, between us and the other race, he felt like niggas should have took off, right? So he expressed, how he felt like we was all busters in our building and this and that. And he pointed out like different people said names, you know what I'm saying, and whatnot. See, I didn't read the kite, right? I remember distinctly yard and we us sitting, me and the homies sitting at the crib, BD them reading that kite, right? And how mad they was, you know what I'm saying? As well as Rock from West Covina neighborhood and Lil Hood from West Covina neighborhood. All of us sitting over there, they reading the shit. Now me, I'm not surprised that he did this. Not even surprised that it had got out, right? So I'm telling them, they like, man, read this shit. I'm like, nah, I don't want to read it. I don't want to read it. I don't need to read it. Read it for what? Because I already told y'all what type of dude he was, right? They hot, they mad, right? So now we having a semi meeting amongst the homies this same day. So it's being discussed on, we Rock and Lil Hood, like, hey, this your homie, like what's happening? You know what I'm saying? They like he got to go. He got to go. He can't, you know, some something got to happen to him. So after the discussions, it pretty much came down to the point of whoever catch him first, get him, right? Because we went to yard at different times. Like Rock was upstairs, Hood was downstairs with us. As a matter of fact, Rock and Baby Nut both was upstairs, right? Me, Lil Hood, my homie BD, Big BD, you know what I'm saying? We all downstairs. So bam, they did yard at different times for the different tiers. So, I'm not the type of person that like to wait around for shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I like to jump on top of things, get the job done, get it over with, and put it behind me. So, you know, I started filling out medical slips and putting Baby Ted's name on it, right? Because we tried every single thing in the world to get him out of his building. Remember, he was in a whole completely different building, right? So we tried everything in our power to get him out of his building. He wouldn't come because he knew that that letter had got out that he wrote. So That's how slimy he was. You know what I'm saying? Like he was a little slithery, slimy motherfucker, man. And his one of his legs was longer than the other, so he walked with a limp. You know what I'm saying? He had a cold ass limp on him and shit. So anyway, we tried everything to get him out that building. He would not come out. So I'm like, damn. I filled out the medical slip, put his name on it. I did that a few times. He wouldn't bite on that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn. So one day we on the yard. This particular day, I believe it was just me and Baby Nut out there with a whole bunch of other Crips. You know what I'm saying? So we just sitting out there chilling, talking and shit, shooting shit. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, Baby Nut like, hey, there go that bitch ass nigga right there, cuz. Right? So I'm like, who? He like that nigga Baby Ted. So I look, and sure enough, he's walking out his building, going going towards the middle of the yard. He's making his way because they had called him out for a package that he had ordered. A package, you get all your food and clothes and all that stuff up in there, right? So that's the only thing that had got him out his building. They had called. So he's walking across the yard with his laundry bag, with his bag, to load all this stuff. Come on, let's go. But it just so happened that responsibility fell on me and Baby Nut, right? So bam, the other Crips, they like, what y'all on? Like, oh, y'all finna see, right? We make our way straight towards him, right? So as we walking towards the middle of the yard, he see us, right? His first, and he knew, you know what I'm saying? Because he told me afterward, like, cuz as soon as I seen you take your load, it was finna go down, right? He told me this afterwards. So anyway, we make our way to him. We meet in the middle of the yard, right? As soon as I get up on him, fire his shit up. Bang, 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 right? Take him down to the ground. You know what I'm saying? We punching him out. Me and Baby Nut punching him out, right? I'm sitting on top of this dude's chest. You know what I'm saying? Slamming his head in the ground, hitting him with elbows and shit all in his face and head and all this and that, right? Now, by this time, we had enough time to beat him real, real good. But within that time of us beating him, the police, the COs, ran over there deep as a motherfucker, right? It's about 15 of them. They surround us. They got us in like a semicircle. And they throwing these smoke bombs, pepper spray, all kind of shit, right? We still beating him, right? But Baby Nut, shout out to Baby Nut too. He watching right now. Shout out, that's my little bro, right? Baby Nut is kicking this nigga in his ass, in his back, right? With some hard ass state boots. If y'all ever seen the state boots that they give you in prison, right? There's these hard ass brown, almost steel toe like boots, heavy ass boots, right? Bro, if you get kicked with one of those motherfuckers on, it's like you getting hit with a brick, right? So imagine this dude, he kicking him so hard, you can hear the thumps all across the yard because every kick he did, you hear people like, ooh, ooh, every kick, right? And I'm sitting on top of him. So the kicks, it's like shattering throughout his body into mine. Right? So bam. Once he started kicking this nigga, the police like stand back. They like stand back. So when I hear that, I know what's coming. So I'm telling him, like, I'm like, stop kicking him, cuz stop kicking him. Right? Then you hear clack, clack. They clocking, they lock and loading that mini 14, right? The mini 14, man. Listen, I don't know what people been telling y'all, or how they've been describing the weaponry that the police have in prison, but they have real guns. They have assault rifles that they utilize on inmates, right? Real guns. The block guns, those are warning shots before they actually start busting the real shit at you. You know what I'm saying? And they only gonna bust that a couple of times before that many come out. Trust me, they got both of them right there. They gonna bust with that Glock gun for so many times, a couple of times, and then bam, that many come out. That's when shit get real. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they don't even use that block gun. They just gonna get cracking with that mini 14. I promise you. I done seen people get shot. You know what I'm saying? On an accident, they aiming right here, and this nigga over here get hit, and then that bullet go through him and hit several other people. Yeah, that happens. I've seen it a million times. So in this case, they finna shoot us. You know what I'm saying? So I tell bro, I'm like, stop kicking that nigga, man. Stop kicking him. Right? So bam. Now, you know, it's time to get up off of it. You know what I mean? So bam, we get up off of him and shit. You know what I'm saying? Thankfully, you know what I'm saying? Neither one of us took any mini 14 bullets, although it was coming. Bam, they wrap us up, you know. So baby Tez want to start talking shit in the cages. And I'm like, don't do that. Just chill, man. You know what I'm saying? You needed to be beat down for a reason. You had that DP coming. You know what I'm saying? So he shut up. Bam. We signed the paper, which they call a marriage chrono. They call it that because when you have an incident on the yard such as that, you know what I'm saying? You sign that, and all parties can come back to that yard. If you don't sign it, then they're going to split you up. They're going to move you to a whole completely different yard. You know what I'm saying? So, bam, we sign it. So, you know what I mean? Afterwards, they let us out. Cuz went and got his package, walked out that motherfucker, went and got his package, and went back in his building, right? Which people was tripping on that. That shit was funny as fuck. So, bam, that was with Baby Tez. Now, let's fast forward. Same prison, High Desert State Prison. All this happened around 2007, in between 2007 and 2009. That particular incident right there with Baby Tez from West Covina neighborhood, that happened in 2007, right? This next story happened around 2008, 2009, right? Which involved another Duroc CRIP. Okay, now this is when me and my little homie, my little bro, Tiny Nut, was together. He had made it up there by that time, right? So bam, Tiny Nut fresh on the yard. You know what I'm saying? Fresh from the LA County jail, fresh, new, first prison, all that. You know what I mean? So he ended up on the yard with me, just like how I had his brother. So bam, a situation occurred. Now, mind you, before I go into that, at that time, I was the type of person, right? When my homies was on the yard with me, you know what I'm saying? Any of them, Duroc or anybody out the SGV crib, you know what I'm saying? I made sure pretty much we was all in the same building together. You know what I'm saying? So that way, if something jump off, we will all be together. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't be spread it out all over the place. It's hard to get the word, to this person when you need to. So for the most part, that was my thing, trying to get everybody together. Well, in the event of that, it was a couple of my homies that didn't make it in my building, right? One of them, I'm not gonna say his name, but you know what I'm saying. He was in where he was at, you know what I'm saying, and I was pressing cuz to move to where we was at, pressing him, you know what I'm saying, in which he didn't do, you know what I'm saying. So bam, the other one, I'm not gonna say his name because he ended up on SNY. You know what I'm saying? So he gets no nothing. But I'm gonna give him an alias. So what I'm gonna call him? I'm gonna call him Ratlow, right? I'm gonna call him Ratlow. So bam, look. But those of y'all that know who I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about, cuz you know who I'm talking about. So bam, I'm trying to get cuz move where in my building where everybody else is at, because the majority of us is all in the same spot. So bam, he like I'm gonna come down here. I'm gonna come down here. I got with my cellie, with my cellmate, right? He was in the cell with the homie Whack from Park CRIP. Shout out. So bam, Whack showing this nigga love. This is boy. Him and Rat. I guess Whack thought the same thing, right? They was sillies for so long, you know. Whack looking out for this nigga, breaking bread with him. You know what I'm saying? Helping him make money. Keeping his head above water. So a situation occurred down in their building with a dude from the Bay Area, 015. He ended up disrespecting another race, the Southsiders, right? Okay. And it came down to a point where, we don't tolerate any disrespect of any kind, because that disrespect can lead to somebody getting killed. It can lead to a number of riots. You know what I'm saying? Like within the blink of an eye. All it takes is the wrong thing to be said to the wrong person, and bam, it's on. You know what I mean? So that's why we keep disrespect to a minimum at all times. So look, anytime some disrespect take place, jump on it immediately. In this case, this dude was wrong. He was completely wrong. Disrespected the Southsiders. You know what I'm saying? Behind some bullshit. So it came down to the point that something had to happen to him. So the Crips and the Bloods is pressing on the Bay Area niggas. Either y'all get rid of him or we get rid of him, and then all the rest of y'all got to go. Period. And typically that's what happened. Like if niggas feel like you're harboring a coward, you know what I'm saying, and you stand up behind somebody that's wrong and you're not willing to do nothing to them, then you endorsing their bullshit. So therefore, guess what's gonna happen? Him and all your homies is gonna get smashed and taken off the yard. Period. And it'll keep happening until they don't bring y'all around no more. They bring a whole different batch in. Period. So look, niggas pressing on them. Y'all take care of it, or we gonna take care of it, and then all y'all got to go. Right? So bam. They never done nothing to this dude. They gave him the opportunity to make a weapon. He knew his head was on the chopping block. This dude make a weapon. And when he seen the opportunity fit, I guess it was the night when they was actually gonna get this dude. Right? Now, mind you, it was a couple of Crips that stepped up like, look, I get him. I'm going on that mission. Wack from Park Village was one of those Crips that volunteered to go on that mission to knock this dude down from the Bay Area behind his disrespect to the South Side, right? It was Wack and a couple of more Crips, young ones, active ones. And then it was a couple of Bloods, active as a motherfucker, that volunteered. So really, it was some Crips and some Bloods that was gonna go on that mission to get this dude, right? And then all the rest of them was finna get wiped up. So look, the night when they finna get him, mind you, that dude from the Bay Area had made a knife. He walked inside. All this happened in a different building. I wasn't in that building, but this is how it all unfolded, how it all played out, which led to my homie X, right? Dude walk in, he sees it's eerie as a motherfucker in this day room as soon as he walked through the door. So he reached for his weapon, right? When they get up on him, he immediately get off on the dad move, stab the dad move in the eye. Now look, Remember, I told you Wack from Park Village, Compton CRIP, was one of them that volunteered to go on that mission. Before all this even take place, he tell his celly, who was from my hood, Ratloke, he was from Duroc. Look, this is what's gonna happen. This is what's going down. I volunteered to go on this mission. So Ratloke, like, well, if you go, I'm going. So Wack from Park Village, like, nah, you ain't got to do that. He like, I'm just letting you know. So if I go to the hole, just make sure all my stuff get packed up and this and that and blah blah blah, right? Ratloke, like, nah, I'm going with you. Like, you've been treating me like a brother in this cell when I had nothing. Ain't no way I can let you go on that and not be with you. With you getting in, I'm getting in. So Wack from Park Village, like, all right, fuck you, good looking, my nigga, right? Fast forward to when dude walk in the day room and stab the Damu in the eye, right? Rat Lope from Duroc standing there, standing right there with the other dudes that's finna get this dude, right? When the dude from the Bay Area stabbed the Damu in the eye, Rat Lope from Duroc run. That nigga had so much Hussein Bolt in him, right? Went and tucked himself in safety. And the other Crips whacking on them, and the Damus, they get cracking on this dude, right? They get cracking. And then take off on another one that was in there from the Bay Area. Like, it was, matter of fact, I think it was three of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, they smashed him, bro, smashed him out like a roach, right? In the meantime, Rat Loke is way over here. When he seen that Damu get stabbed in his eye, I guess that just shook his whole world up to the point where he didn't want no smoke, right? Straight busted. So bam, the police go in there, they wrap up everybody that they felt was involved in that situation, including Ratloke, right? Because he was still in that area where the incident had went down at. So they take his ass to the hole too, as if he was in the shit. Now, mind you, we're in a whole completely different building. When we hear about this going down, and I hear that Ratlow was one of the ones that went to the hole, we instantly thinking like, oh, okay, he got cracking, That's what's up. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, there was no reason to be mad about that. Like, you got cracking, That's what's up, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're supposed to do, right? At that time, I'm in the cell with J Dog from Grape Street, right? Shout out to J Dog, shout out to the Grapes. Half my family from Grape. Shout out to all my family out there in Watts, right? So I'm in the cell with J Dog from Grape, right? We hear about this shit, you know what I'm saying? So we like, damn, they got cracking down there, all right. So now we focused on any of the other ones that may be on the yard that's gonna have to get the same type of treatment and shit. We not, you know, no suspicion in my mind ever led me to believe that Ratloke didn't get cracking. Bam. Fast forward like some months later, because they was in the hole for some months behind that. This whole time we under the impression that Ratloke had got cracking from Duroc, right? We was under the impression that nigga got cracking. They started letting niggas out that was involved in that situation, which was a few homies from Compton, a homie Wack from Park Village. They let these niggas out the hole. When they get out the hole, ain't none of them saying nothing about Ratlow. They don't say not one thing, no, nothing good, nothing bad, no words at all. So we still under the impression that Ratlow had got cracking. But what it was, they was waiting on him to get out the hole to bring this situation up on the table. You know what I'm saying? Which made sense, right? He get out the hole probably a couple of weeks after they did. This particular day, I'm in the cell chilling and shit. The homie Jada off and Grape like, hey, ain't this your homeboy right here? They got caught up in that shit with the homies. So I go to the door, I look, this nigga just sitting down at the table. He know I'm in this building. He know that I'm in the cell that I'm in, right? Because the homie Big Red Dog, shout out to Big Red Dog from Compton Grandy's, Nutty Block, right? OG. He worked in the program office as a clerk. So anybody that's coming and going, he's gonna know. He's gonna let, if you a Crip, he's on it, right? So bam, Red Dog, I know Red Dog let him know that you finna go in the building with your homie CRIP. You know what I'm saying? He in cell, whoop, 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 whoop. I already know this. This nigga come in, he sit down at the table and don't say shit. So I call cuz. I'm like, hey, Rat Low, Rat Low. So he look up at me, right? He look up at me, right? With a crazy look on his face. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, what the fuck wrong with this nigga, man? I'm like, I'm like, come here. So he get up, he walking slow and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like his whole demeanor, his energy is just weird, right? So bam, I'm trying to figure it out. Like, what the fuck is this weird ass nigga on, man? So when he get up there, he's like, what's up, cuz? I'm like, what's happening, nigga? Like, man, what's up with you? Like, nigga, you was just gonna sit down there, nigga, not come up here and greet me, nigga, what's happening? So he like, no, I'm just trying to figure out who they finna put me in the cell with. You know what I'm saying? If cuz a buster, I'm finna whoop his ass and kick him out the cell. I'm like, I said, what cell they say you finna go to? So he told me the cell. I knew the person that they was finna put him in the cell with, right? I'm like, nah, he ain't on no bullshit like that, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? But we'll definitely find you a different spot. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, that's what's up. He like, but yeah, if any nigga want it, you know what I'm saying? You know, any of these niggas tripping and shit, you know what I'm saying? The nigga finna get at these niggas. We can meet in the middle of the yard and this and he just got to going into all this shit, right? So I'm like, man, what the fuck are you talking about? Right? He like, no, I'm just saying, cuz, right? So bam. Now niggas know he out. Niggas know he got out the hole, right? So before I found out what I found out, he's sending kites. He's writing letters to Whack from Park Village. I know I fucked up, homie. I know I fucked up. I dropped the ball. I let you down. I know I was supposed to be in that shit. I froze. I panicked. Any mission that you want me and my homies to go on, we gonna do it. Did you hear what I just said? This nigga is volunteering not just his services, but me and my homies that's there that did not mark out a buster out in that situation. But this is what he's sneaking and writing, sending these kites to Whack them. Whack give the kites to the homie Red Dog from Compton Grandy's. Red Dog, I've been knowing for years, since I was a young nigga. You feel me? That's a homie that, you know what I'm saying, I got a lot of love and respect for, right? He catch me on the yard, pulled me to the side like, hey, look. He said, just like this. He said, hey, Creep. He said, I've been knowing you since you was a pup, and you always been a rider. You feel me? He said, I got a lot of love and respect for you. I said, I got a lot of love and respect for you too, big homie. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's happening? He like, look, man. He like, I don't know what your homeboy Ratlow is telling you and the rest of the SGVs. He said, but I wanted to show you something rather than just talk to you about it. Like, I want to show you something. He went in his wallet and pulled out this kite, handed it to me. Like, read that. I immediately recognized the writing. It's Rat Lokes writing. And it's a letter, a kite of him volunteering his services, seeing how he ran out on them, I ran out on whack now. You know what I'm saying? When he was supposed, he volunteered his service to get cracking with him and didn't. Ran out, left him for dead. I'm reading this. I'm like, wow. And the whole time, this is why he's saying what he's saying about niggas can meet. They can meet him in the middle of the yard and they can have a knife fight and they can do this and do that. He talking all this hardcore shit to me, right? All this hardcore shit to me, but you turned straight up pussy when you was already that. You know what I'm saying? When you ran out on them niggas, but nigga, you admit that you ran out on these dudes, that you was a buster. You admit this, and then you volunteer not just your services, but our services to go on any mission that these other niggas won't. Nah. So I tell Red Dog like this, don't even trip. He out of here. He like, no, 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 no. He said, that ain't why I'm showing you this. He like, no. He like, man, the homie's not tripping on that nigga because he wasn't even supposed to go on that mission anyway. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, 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 nah. He like, well, look, if you do it, you're not doing it on, because I'm not telling you, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I understand that. I said, but you know how I am, bro. Like, zero tolerance when it comes to buster shit. This is not permittable under no circumstance. You know what I'm saying? So, bam, while me and him talking, now all my other homies, they knew about this before me because they had got to the yard earlier than me. So they had already knew. They along with Ratlow didn't know that this was being brought up on him, but he was out there that day, and he's off in the cut watching me and Red Dog talk. Right. So once me and Red Dog was done, I'm so hot, but I have to play it down. I have to play it cool. I have to have my demeanor calm and collected because I cannot let him see he's watching with a close eye. He was another slithery, slimy motherfucker, boy. You know what I'm saying? So he's watching my demeanor, my facial expression. He's watching everything, right? So when me and Red Dog finish talking, I go back over there to the homies and shit, right? They all looking like they know, right? So bam, Rat looked like that nigga was talking about, right? He like what that nigga was talking about. I'm like, oh man, hold on, y'all. I'm like, oh man, you know, there's always some shit going on. You know what I'm saying? On this yard and shit. He was just lacing me up. You know what I'm saying? I made up some bullshit to throw him off. There's no way that I'm going to give you any insight on what's going on because that's like kind of giving him the upper hand. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to make you aware of nothing that has been said because you're out of here, right? So I make up some bullshit. So he like, oh, okay, yeah. So bam, in my head, man, it's bombs going off in my head. When I get mad, I just hear bombs in my head, right? I'm hot. I have a straight mark standing right next to me, and he's from Duroc, right? My hood. So bam, we able to me and a couple of the homies, I think me, Tiny Nut, and a couple of more homies and shit was able to break away from the big crowd. So they like, hey, I know he told us, like, yeah, man, he out of here, straight up. So bam, now I have to devise a plan in which I did. So I tell Tiny Nut, I said, look, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna move you down to our building in the cell with Cuz. Tiny Nut, like, I don't even want to shoot that buster ass nigga. I'm like, look. Tiny Nut, if you watching this, Cuz, tell me if I'm lying. It's all fact. He like, I don't really want to deal with that buster ass nigga, Cuz, fuck that. I'm like, nah. This is just gonna be overnight. We got to get cuz down here. We all got to be in the same thing because me and you gonna get this nigga. Me and you gonna get him. He like, all right. He's like, all right, fuck it, cuz, do it. Bam. So I tell Tiny Nut, I said, just when you get in there, treat him normal like he a homie, cuz. You know what I'm saying? Don't act different with him. Don't act funny. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, chill with that nigga. Just play it down. Don't even think about it. Because tomorrow, he out of here. Right? So bam. Get him moved down there in the cell with this nigga, right? Tiny Nut wasn't feeling that shit. But, you know, if the mission was the mission. You feel me? So bam. He get down there, 24 hours go by. So bam, we on the yard. Now, this nigga Ratlow had a cast on a fake ass cast on his leg, right? From another incident that involved, you know, I don't want to go into that one, right? I'll say that story because that's a whole another one that involved Ratlow, myself, and a dude from a whole completely different car who was a CRIP that we had to smash. You know what I'm saying? But in that incident, Ratlow somehow messed up his leg and tried to say that his leg was broke, which is bullshit. But anyway, this nigga had a fake ass cast on his leg, right? So bam, and he had crutches, right? His injury was false, fraudulent. Trust me. Watch. So bam, we on the yard. So I tell Tiny Nut, I said, look, gonna work out with him, then get a nice little good workout in real quick. Then we're gonna walk him over to the bathroom. On our way back, that's where we're gonna get him. My favorite spot of getting niggas was right there next to the basketball court because it took the police longer to get there. And then when they shoot that block gun, it's the distance. So the impact of the block gun hitting you ain't gonna hurt bad. You know what I'm saying? So we got just enough time to whoop him out real quick, and then bam, it'd be done. So that, you know, that was my favorite spot. So anyway, he talking shit while he working out, right? I'm looking at them. I'm like, yeah, it's almost that time. Hey man, come on, I gotta use the bathroom. Bam. So he like, all right, we go over there. On our way back, on that walk back, you know what I'm saying? He's saying something, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Right? And we just commenced to just beating this nigga, right? Beat him like a Mississippi slave, right? Beat him. Now, remember I told you the cast was fake. Somehow he was able to make it up on his feet and he ran. Right? So I'm like, yeah, I knew that motherfucker was fake. I knew it. But nothing wrong with his leg. I'm talking about have you ever seen a nigga with a cast run? A nigga with a cast run like he was Hussein Bolt, fast as a motherfucker, right? To the point where first we start chasing him, then I stop. Tiny Nut still chasing him because I seen where he was running to. He's running straight to the gun tower, up under the gun tower where you can get shot. So I stopped. I'm like, Tiny Nut, stop chasing that nigga. Stop chasing him. You going to the gun tower, right? So bam, finally Tiny Nut stop chasing him and shit. Police run out there, get us, you know what I'm saying, wrap us up. You know what I mean? So bam, they take us to the cages. Rat Loke in there, he start talking shit. One of his teeth was knocked out, hanging by a piece of meat, just dangling. He show us. He's like, "Oh look, y'all knocked my teeth out, cuz look." Right? So I'm like, damn. So I tell this nigga, I said, look, bro, I said, you can exist as a Duroc Crip, but you can't exist as a Duroc Crip here on this yard with me. Not after what you did. Point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? You go elsewhere, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and reestablish yourself, bro, but you can't do that here with me. Point blank, period, bro. So bam, you know, you're like, yeah, this always gonna be Duroc and this and that and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, cool. He leave and immediately, you know, do some foul shit. You know what I'm saying? So you can just pretty much consider his career done and over with. You know what I'm saying? In which he ended up going SNY after that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. That was our removal of a fellow Duroc Crip at that time. You know what I'm saying? For being, you know, missing in action when he was supposed to be accounted for. You know what I'm saying? So it's a couple of ways, man. Like I tell y'all, you can do your prison time. You feel me? But if you volunteer your services for some shit, you know what I'm saying? In this lifetime, whether you in prison or not, you're supposed to be a man of your word and stand on that shit. Point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? In that situation, in that setting, ahead of time, you volunteered your services and you was a no-show. You ran. Then you come back and you talking all this high power shit. You know what I'm saying? But under the table, you ready to suck everybody dick. That's a no-go. Zero tolerance for busterism. Period. You know what I'm saying? I bring this to y'all because you need to understand, bro. If by chance it's not you or somebody that you know, that have to take that trip, the prison trip, understand getting involved in certain things and volunteering yourself to do this and then not doing it, it's a major, major bad look. You have to be careful, be accountable for self. You're supposed to have the most protection on self before anything else, which means not involving yourself in shit that you're not ready for. Period. That goes for any facet of life, in prison or in society. Be accounted for, stand on your shit. Period. Hopefully this video and this story, these stories can help somebody because the two people that I spoke about, you know, in my definition of real, failed the test, failed horribly, and their careers ended up going, you feel me? So just keep that in mind, man. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this on up. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to bring these stories to y'all. You know what I'm saying? You know, we need more relatable stuff put out there, you know, instead of people telling all they wins, all they W's, you know what I'm saying? All these other, you know, stories about their jail experience, you know what I'm saying? Well, it's a flip side to everything. It's a flip side to everything. But being accountable for self, being able to govern yourself should be top priority, no matter where you at, but especially in a jail setting. If you're not being responsible for yourself, how in the hell could you even think about being responsible for somebody else? I would never want my life to be placed in another man's hands that's not capable of even governing himself, making sure himself is straight. Never. That would be foolish. You feel me? But look, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this on up, man. I've held y'all up long enough. I appreciate you all stepping to this round table, joining me for this session. You know what I'm saying? To those of y'all that banged the chat up, I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you all for joining, man. Thank you all for your participation. You know what I'm saying? Participation here at Swang Low is everything, and y'all know that I appreciate it. All the interactions. If you don't know, I interact in the chat with all my peoples. You know what I'm saying? That's all the time. Anytime we do these shows, you know what I'm saying? That's what we do. I love the interaction. Thank you all. Appreciate you. And again, man, to the viewers that haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's free. You know what I'm saying? You may as well join in the session. You know what I'm saying? Why not become an official member of this roundtable of the Swang Glow podcast? It's for free. You get to join for free. You get to hang out, you know what I'm saying, with great people. You know what I'm saying? I have some real great people here, man, at the Swang Low podcast, man. And, you know, I appreciate all my supporters, everybody that has subscribed to the show. So all you new viewers that haven't subscribed, that haven't liked anything, you know what I'm saying, man? Like, comment, and subscribe to the Swang Low podcast show. Duroc CRIP is greatly appreciated and definitely sits here at the heart. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are helping build this channel up to where it's going. You know what I'm saying? And hey, I love and appreciate you all, man, for hanging in there with me. You know what I'm saying? But look, y'all take care. Y'all live in y'all blessings. Be a blessing to somebody. I love and appreciate you all, man. To the next time we meet at this round table, y'all be safe out there. Love y'all. Triple gang.